The first of the events, codenamed Encore, was a 27 kiloton nuclear device airdropped and detonated at about 2,800 feet above a large blast line. The second Department of Defense burst, called Grable, was detonated at the same general area, and it was delivered by the Army's new artillery cannon. A 280 millimeter projectile was fired and detonated over about the same blast area with a yield of about 15 kilotons at an altitude of about 500 feet. Now, the smaller yield, 15 kilotons at 500 feet, produced a great deal more damage than had the larger yield Encore event, 27 kilotons at 2,800 feet. And that's because the smaller yield at the lower altitude produced a very abnormal waveform, which we call a precursor, which is very strong dynamic winds, which to drag-sensitive targets produces extensive damage. For instance, a Jeep at a given level on Encore may not have been damaged at all. But on Grable, with a precursor loading, that Jeep would be completely torn to pieces and thrown down the blast line distances like 500 feet. Well, there were many other peculiarities to those two shots, but it opened up a whole new vista of how do you use nuclear weapons in a combat situation.
Common sense tells you this is dangerous and foolish. You wouldn't risk your neck in a trick like this. Common sense tells us that being shot out of a cannon is dangerous business. Common sense tells you not to be careless at an airfield with propellers and jet engines in action. Handling dynamite. This too looks dangerous, but it's an everyday job to these men because they observe common sense safety precautions. But sometimes we forget that security violations can be dangerous business too. If classified information about this test mission fell into enemy hands, the consequences could be disastrous to all of us, individually and collectively as a nation. Security is only common sense. Don't take chances. Avoid loose talk. Safeguard classified information. Report security violations at once. Prompt action may prevent a minor incident from developing into a serious one. Avoid writing about classified material in letters home. Be sure you're secure. Don't be careless.
I hate a careless man.